Hey there, welcome to the table. I'm taking a break from the Grand Campaign. Um, my reason is largely because I've played the Grand Campaign at least 6 times now. There's the playthrough that you're seeing, and then there's all these playthroughs I'm doing with other, like, real people. And instead, what I'm going to do is I just wanted to do something different than be Castile. Um, and so what I'm going to do this time is we are doing the Ambitious Margrave, which is a solo campaign, and we are playing as Brandenberg, and we are against Austria, Denmark, and it's actually going to be the full-featured Kalmar bot. And then we also added Poland to the mix. So, so basically, we're not using the Castile player board or the Ottoman player board, although France does enter the game. We're using Brandenburg, and then all three of the bots on the other side of the table. And I just realized I forgot to do one thing during the setup, and that is this. We got to get these out. And France is playing as a dynamic NPR at the beginning of the game. So, and then we're going to just go ahead and clone. Whoop, I don't know what just happened there. Right, so now the other variant here is that France is also going to, whenever these dynamic NPRs come up, they're going to expand no matter what color is on the card. So even if the card does not have blue, they still activate, which I think is a really cool idea. So we go first on this mission. And, okay, Brandenburg, in case you didn't know, is here. We start with Berlin. I mean, it's basically Germany before it's Germany. We have some cubes here. Obviously, you can see Denmark is right above us. Poland is right to the east of us. And Austria is to the south. And, of course, France is a thing over here. We're surrounded on all sides. We are in the HRE. The Austria is the emperor. And the Papal Curia is only 4 cubes, or 4 spaces, so I put gray cubes here to denote that they're out. We don't use those. And then also, a key thing with this is the setup does not have Poland on here. This is the true setup as per the directions, but Poland is not normally in the scenario. It's an optional add-on, so I added Poland in the 4th spot. I think that was just a miss by the developers. Everything else looked like it was grand. Poland has no reason not to be there, so and then they're going to be the first one to get bumped, so it makes total sense. I took some cards. I drew some advisors, so I got some of everything, and that puts me down to 8 ducats to start the game. I have, of course, the 3 cubes each. I always get a little miffed, like, now that I've played this more, like, what's the obsession with putting the advisors down right away? These guys only give you benefits when the round ends. So by putting them right away, all you're doing is getting them sick whenever these event cards come up. I'm sorry, excuse me. I'm going to get a drink. Okay. So I did that. I have 3 cards left. There is one thing in the setup I may not have explained before, but you can't have more than 4 cards after you set up the game. So I had to, if you start with 6, I had to at least play 2 of them, like this, which is what I did. I played 3. And so the cards I have, this alliance card can actually be pretty helpful. If I have some cubes, I can at least get one of the other areas to ally with me, and I'm going to need it because if I declare war on things, I'm going to need their help. I have literally 3 cities on the board and 2 manpower. So I have an army of 1 infantry, and I can hire 1 more. That's all I got. So that's the solo mission. if you choose to accept it. Oh, here's the other thing. The mission cards that came with this tabletop simulator, they're just generic. So they have this mission display here. It's titled completed missions. I don't know what that means, but I'm just going to use this as my missions. And so the cube on the top left are the missions that I have selected in my hand. And then if I ever complete one, I'll just put a cube over top of the score. So that's how I'm going to denote the ones that are in my hand. They're going to be like this. Anything completed will have cubes there. And you can see like this unlocks that and so forth. So that's what we're gonna roll with. So at the moment I'm on 1F, and we're gonna try to expand the nation. And if we have a royal marriage and alliance with another realm in the HRE, we complete this one. So that's the reason why I was really happy to get this alliance card, because the royal marriage is also hard to get, but the it'd be nice to at least get an alliance, one half of it going. What else? Not much else to really say. Oh, how do we win? We win if we have Copenhagen, Vienna, and Paris. So basically all three capitals. Poland is not a factor. I mean, I added them, but it's not a factor. If you don't go with Poland, what they do is they put a +1 manpower on just about all the Polish spaces. And basically, if you try to invade that way, they're going to defend with extra troops. So I like the idea of a bot instead of just having a bunch of, hey, I got extra manpower. Oh, our missions have a surplus of 15 ducats during our income. Fat chance of that. Own 2 provinces. That's possible. Have 4 vassals. Not going to happen. Have your ruler as a general in a battle versus a realm of another faith. That's not going to be easy since we're in the middle of all these Catholic nations right now. And then, of course, these came out. These are clearly different than the Grand Campaign. A lot of them have varying effects. I'll let you pause and read through them if you want to see them. This one can be neat. You get to draw 4 trade cards instead of 3. It's very helpful because, for example, where I'm at, my trade nodes don't show up very often as Brandenberg. This one's very powerful, but you have to research 2 ideas before you can research this one. It lets you research more stuff for 1 less. It seems great, but to have 2 of these researched, I mean, there's only 7 more left, and this is the 3rd one. So, anyways, you got to be really going gung ho for the research here. And then it does let you replace these, though, and get a different one. So it could be handy there. Church attendance, increase your stability costs 1 less. So that can be very, very helpful if you're dealing with stability issues. Okay. What I'm going to do for my first turn, and I hadn't shown you this yet, but the events for this game, the first event is ours, the Fate of Newmark. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to place our event. This one is out. I'll just put it there. And also Castillo's out for right now. So anyways, we're going to place our token there, and I'm going to take the Fate of Newmark. And I'm going to bring it back to our player area because we're going to be replacing our leader, this 221, with this 133. I sort of like the administrative. I don't like the fact that I'm going less, but this is an important one for us to take. Brandenberg, we're going to choose A. We're going to pay 1 diplomatic cube and 5 ducats. And what we get to do is we can turn Berlin from a small town into a large. Now, that may seem like it's nothing, but if I take this small town away, so right now you can see we have 3 income and 2 manpower, and now we're dropping to 2 and 1. But then that gives us 2 more. So now we're going to 4 income and 2 manpower. So manpower didn't change, but we just gained an extra gold in income, our ducat. And this is going to be for the rest of the game, though. So making that large is good for us. I did just spend 5 ducats, so you could argue, oh gosh, that's 5 rounds before you even break even. And you nailed it. I mean, it is 5 rounds before we break even. I don't have a better way to put it. Now, I also get a victory point for this. Let's see. They're out. So we get a victory point for it. And then we get to 2 cubes in Prussia, and we also, whoever played the card gets that back. So we get our diplomatic cube back. So basically, it just costs us 5 ducats to put a big town instead of a small. Like, I understand it's 5 rounds, but for me, that was still worth it. We did get a victory point, and we do get to put 2 cubes out. And you could argue, like if you did an influence action, to put 1 cube out costs 3 ducats. So you're getting more than just a big town. Alright, putting those in Prussia. This is going to be difficult because Prussia is somebody that Poland's going to target early. So one thing I may want to consider doing is allying with Prussia, because since they're not in the HRE, they could help me take over stuff in the HRE. Now, you might be wondering, how does war within the HRE work? That is a great question, because it is an issue. So, Brandenberg is one of the electors of the HRE. For this particular scenario, the electors are shut off, but it's an advanced rule where basically they vote. And you need to have all 5 of them to get elected or whatever. Defending the HRE is a thing, but this is against non-HRE people. Internal HRE people can bicker and fight amongst each other, and it seems to be mostly okay. So for the HRE lands, player HRE members can only leave through missions or events. If you're not the Emperor, you cannot research government ideas if the Emperor's 3 or higher. If you're not the Emperor, when defending HRE activates, you must either exhaust 2 manpower, lose 6 ducats, lose a point, or place a casus belli on the aggressor's capital. Elector areas with the Imperial Eagle. Areas with an Imperial Eagle, or B, a capital province owned by HRE. Well, we're one of them, because we have an eagle next to us. And then Imperial Liberation. So if there's an unlawful occupant, which there are at the start of the game, it's telling you Burgundy, Venice, and Denmark are unlawful occupants. So we can have an Imperial Liberation casus belli, but that's if you're the Emperor. That's not us. Even though we're members, we don't necessarily have casus bellis to go after unlawful occupants. At least I don't think we do. And then the Emperor can go up or down based on all these factors if it's the player. When it's a bot, they simplify it. You just roll a die, and it's over here. Well, actually, no. That's if it's an Emperor NPR. So it is a bot. So since it's a bot, it's going to follow this chart. So, gosh darn it, this is very confusing, but basically they're going to try to reincorporate HRE area. So if something gets conquered by Poland, for example, they can take it back. They'll move up the track. If the number of elector areas falls below a current number, then the maximum that the authority can grow is reduced by 1. So you need all 5 of the electors in order to get to level 6 power. Now, what does fall mean? It doesn't say. Does that mean you lose some of your provinces? Does that mean you lose all of them? I'm assuming all. But what if one of them takes over another? Then what? I mean, that's the whole thing that's goofy about this. Um, I'm assuming that since it's the areas, it's not the country. So as long as the area is controlled by a member of the HRE, it's fine. So the Emperor enforces full annexation, peace term, on an HRE member of the same state religion. Um, so remember, this is that the Emperor does these things. So we're not the Emperor, so we get a little more leeway. But if he fully annexes anybody who's also Catholic, now later on there's going to be a split because there's going to be Protestantism and stuff. But right now there's just Catholics. So if he annexes anybody that's also a Catholic, he's going to drop one in imperial authority. So playing as Austria is tricky. In the video game and here, there's like a whole set of rules that's just for them. It's like its own little mini video game. So obviously we're not allowed to leave, and then there's some extra rules here, which are just basically saying, since the Emperor's a bot, the rules for imperial elections are not in play. However, if Brandenberg manages to have more influence cubes than Austria bot in all elector areas, with the NPR provinces remaining, while simultaneously occupying Vienna, they may choose to become the new emperor. So we would have to go to war with Austria, take Vienna, and occupy it, while at the same time having more influence on all the electors. We can become emperor if that happens. So that's a tricky thing too, to be able to do. However, that's I think it. We can go ahead and get rolling here. Oh, I took the event. That's right. And so my leader's already gone. This leader, I'm just going to flip over, and we're going to go ahead and pop our new one in. And I actually like this leader. I didn't necessarily want our event to show up so early, but that's just random RNG stuff. There. Nothing I can do about that. Where am I going to throw this? We'll throw it over here. Okay, our turn's over. We skip here. We come over. Oh no, I don't have the bot set up. My apologies. England will be this bot. That's not England. I keep wanting, because I see red. I see England. This is Denmark. So let's find Denmark. Alright, so it's pretty easy. To set up the bot deck, we need to move 3, 11, 12, and 15. So 3, 11, 12, and 15. So these 4 cards for age 1 are not used by Denmark. And if I can ever get it to pick up everything, we go over here to Denmark, and we're going to throw them in to this pile here. And then we're going to grab all these. These are the cards that he uses. We're going to drop it there and give it a good shuffle. Alright, and while we're at it, let's just do the other ones. Austria is going to be next. I don't remember which one Austria was in. It's right here. 3, 10, 11, and 12. You know what? I'm going to bring it all over here first. Three, 10, 11, and 12. Okay, he's done. And then we have, this one is for Poland. And Austria and Poland play just like the Grand Campaign. They even have the exact same start. So 9, 10, 11, and 12 for Poland. Nine, 10, 11, and 12. And both of those are colonized cards. So it makes total sense. I think this is actually a brilliant bot deck. I really do. Okay, so Denmark goes. They are going to convert or focus. I don't think there's anything to convert. It's Catholic all across the board here. So we're going to go ahead and convert, which means this goes out. That costs 1 cube. And we're focusing on politics for them. So turns over. Next up is Austria. 1 and 2. And then they discard a diplomacy card. And that is counter espionage. Alright, so they're going to do diplomacy. And I need to get, here we go, solo bot. Okay, do they have this anywhere? No. No. Yes. And it's going to be, it's Hungary, I believe, because Hungary has the highest tax income. Alliance possible, yes. They're going to put an alliance on Hungary and add a cube there, and then their turn's over. So let's make sure that really is what they're doing. They did have 2 cubes here, but they also have 2 cubes there, so that's exactly what they're doing. You can tell I've played this before. So Hungary gets an alliance and another cube on the capital. Okay, that's their turn. Now we come over to Poland. Diplomacy. 3 cubes come over. And they're going to do a similar thing. Oh, we missed some setup with Poland. Oh, they just have a royal marriage with Lithuania. They don't have anything else. But that's not out. So let's get that out. Where's their capital? There. We'll put it here. Okay. So they got a royal marriage going. Basically, the question is, do they have 2 cubes? Yes, here. Can they do an alliance? It's the exact same path. They're going to do an alliance. We'll put that on the capital, and then another cube comes out. All of those are really good moves, opening moves for them. So, can't blame them. Now it gets to us. So, what is it that we want to do? Well, the exceptional year is great if I ever get any unrest, and then I'll gain 9 ducats. I love that. I don't necessarily need to do it right away, so I'm holding on to it for now. This one, I can remove 2 cubes from a target and add 2 of my own, and then if we're both at peace, and I now have the most, I can get an alliance with them. It is expensive. It cost me 4 cubes. I don't even have 4 cubes and $2. So why would I want to do that? Well, Pomerania, I can remove their cubes and add mine. I can maybe do that with Bohemia here and Poland. Get rid of both of those, put mine. It gives me options. It doesn't necessarily mean I can do it very effectively at the moment. And in fact, I can't even do it at all. And then this one's worthless. I just drew it at the beginning of the game and there was no reason to get rid of it. So, we can forge an alliance, and it's based on their tax income, maximum of 3 cubes. So we could try to get somebody to join us so that we were not alone here. Now, if I ally with Pomerania, there's a real good chance that Denmark is going to declare war. And in fact, we can check this out. This is the Poland bot, and this is the Kalmar bot, which is, I'm wondering if that's different than Denmark bot. Let's see. We are playing against Kalmar. So, Akershus, Götaland and Skane, Pomerania, and Estonia and Livonia are who they want to attack. So, just to give you an idea, Estonia and Livonia, the Götaland is here, which is Sweden, and they have a marriage and alliance with Sweden, so they're not going to be attacking Sweden, and then Pomerania. So I can ally with Pomerania, which will then suck me into a war with these guys. That's the issue. Allying with Prussia will cost me 3 cubes, but it is a 4 province thing. It's going to definitely put me into some sticky situations with Poland. Or I could just play it safe and ally with, one of these. The part here is like this is only a 3 province nation. This one I guess is theirs as well. It's a half and half, which is interesting. I think it's because it changes later. So right now it's still not the same as these. So it's its own little country. And Bohemia is a solid choice because I get 1, 2, 3, 4, and that would be a nice solid ally because it's just as strong as Königsberg. In fact, it's stronger, and it's within the HRE. And also the beauty of Bohemia is if I ever were able to annex them, that would be annexing an HRE country. And then this is what they mean by the eagles. So this is an elector. So 1 elector, 2 elector, 3. And then the other thing is I'm supposed to have more cubes than Austria in each of these electors. Because remember, if I have all those and I've taken Vienna, I become the emperor myself. So going after Prussia would be great because I have 3 cubes there already. Here, I don't have enough cubes to do much, but my card would work perfectly. But this would be, I think, a more strategic one to have because it's getting me closer to what I need to do. Alright, so with all that rambling, what am I going to do? So I have to have at least 2 cubes in the area to even consider it. So getting back up here, Prussia, again, is an option, and so is Pomerania. I don't know. That's my answer. I don't know. Quit picking on me. I am absolutely positive that since Denmark has Sweden on their side, and Norway is heavily influenced, they are going to be attacking into our area. Otherwise, they're possibly going to be attacking Novgorod over here. And then I just wanted to check, is Denmark separate from Kalmar? So there is a Denmark bot that's separate. But we are playing against Kalmar and not Denmark. So we're not going to use this one. Although I think that's what I just did. 3, 11, 12, and 15. Let's make sure it's the same. 2, 11, 12, and 14. Oh no. Oh no. Three, 11, 12, and 15. So they're saying 3 comes back and 15 comes back. And then here they wanted 2, which is military, and 14. It's the exact same cards. So we just added a military in Papocuria and got rid of a military in Papocuria. That cracks me up. All right. We're going to go ahead and reshuffle. That was a lot of work for nothing. Okay, back to us. Because it's all about us. We can only ally Pomerania and Prussia. Between the two, Prussia is probably arguably more valuable. Just because it's a 4-province area and would get us more tax revenue if we ever got to annex them. What other options do we have? Well, recruiting is useless. We could try to do a trade, but that would use our precious cubes. Yeah, there's not much else to do. From a administrative action, we can't afford to increase stability unless we did a focus. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and we're going to spend 3 cubes. And we're going to make an alliance with Prussia. That may be a mistake, but I like the idea because they have 4 tax base. So if we ever go to war, they're going to give me 2 troops. Whereas Pomerania, it's really not Like, look, it's 4 different. There's 3 different realms there. So which one am I allying with? Well, you know, Lubeck is a trade node, but that's about it. Okay, so all that analysis was for very little. Let's move over here, and now it's Denmark, and they're going to go again. So they're going to focus again on war. And so it's cost 1 cube, and a military card gets discarded. So that happens. Alright, so the focus on war thing is where it gets interesting. Because the way the bot chart works is they're not going to focus on war. Instead, they're going to do the politics. So they're going to get the 2 cubes back. And they grab their little token here, and we go to the politics one, which I think is this one, and we drop that on. Nope, that's expansion. This is the politics one. So they just scored 5 points for being the first to be here. And yeah, they're cheaty McCheatersons to get that quickly. Like, they have 4 vassals. They only have 1. Okay, Austria. Diplomacy. So 3 more cubes coming over. And I don't know what their diplomacy is going to be here. Oh, it's going to be against these guys. So, because they have 2 cubes. So they're going to put an alliance here with... Oh, this is interesting because there's more than one country here. So they're going to pick the biggest one, München. Now they have an alliance, and they get to put a cube in the area. Because they go after the highest tax base, if you remember. Alright, next turn. Focus war. Alright, that's going to cost 1 cube. It goes into the warfare. And then a card gets discarded. Now it's back to us. And I hate to say this, but I feel like I have to pass. What am I going to do with my military? I guess I could recruit the 1 more troop that's available, but then it just increases my my costs. To I don't have any unrest. I don't need to move my troops. I don't want to declare war. I guess I could declare war, but that'd be insanity. Even if I'm going up against Magdeburg, I could, I'm going to go in with my 1 troop, and they're going to roll 3 dice and fight me with their 1 troop. And if any of those 3 dice rolls a hit, we basically mutually lose. I guess if I go up to 2 troops, I can start taking over things like Magdeburg. Oh no, I don't even have a claim, and I need a claim. I don't have a claim, so I can't do anything. I could try to focus, and I can't discard cards to get cards, at least not easily. What I am going to do is I'm going to pass, and by doing so, I get 5 ducats. And then, this is a 4-player game, basically. So we use the right side. So then it becomes 2, and then 0 and 0. So in terms of passing. But what's funny, though, is as soon as the next person passes, the other 2 only get 1 more turn. Because these 2 are out. And, there we go. I can finally drop these somewhere else. So there's only 4 of us. Once 2 people pass, the last 2 only get 1 more turn. Now, I feel like I'm passing way too early, but there's not much else I can do. I'm a small little podunk town who just spent everything I had to upgrade Berlin. So we're just going to have to wait. Alright, let's go to these guys who have 1,000,000 cubes still. So now they're going to focus again. This time on politics. And I believe, I'm going to flip these over. The focus politics one was – 'cause 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 'c There's two of them, but this one had a discard card. So it was discard diplomatic. There. And one argument I can make is that by passing early and getting those 5 ducats, that's huge. That's more than my whole government makes whenever I do my income. So that is actually a very large income for me at my current size. So we're going to roll with it. Okay, these guys, man, we're just rolling a lot of these. I'm going to flip these over. Put that over there. Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cubes spent. 4 cubes left. They're doing an event. They don't keep drawing cards. So all right. So this middle card got drawn. These two are on here like so. And what Austria is going to do is they're going to roll. So they rolled a 3, which means they're going to take the rightmost one. So since there's money on it, they're going to get a cube for that. So let's not forget to give them the cube. And then we come back, we look at the event. You and another player of your choice must choose. Okay, so in order to choose another player, they're going to roll a die again. They rolled a 6. So that is the player with the most income. And how do I know all these things? Well, let's clone this and drag a copy over here. So if we go to opponent selection, a 4 to 6 is highest tax income. And currently we're doing the event action. So they rolled a 3, which makes them pick the rightmost event. And then if it's not an opponent's event, they're going to choose option A. If it is, they would choose option B, and that's what we're resolving right now. So the highest tax income, these guys are 5 plus 4 is 9. They can't pick themselves. That's 11, that's 13. So it's Poland. They in Poland are going to do this. So we rule as we see fit. Gain 1 and 1 cube of your choice, but lose a stability, which for them is unrest if they're a bot. Crush the troublemakers, gain 5 ducats, and add unrest to one of your areas and place a rebel in the same area. So basically you make money and add some unrest. Well, the easy thing here is the event chart. So Austria has to choose A, and then whenever Poland chooses, in that same area where it says when they have to make choices, they always choose the first of 2 options. So they're choosing A as well. So both of them are going to gain a point and a cube, and then also gain 1 unrest, because stability is not represented by them in this game. So Austria is going to gain a point, and so is Poland. And then both of them get an unrest. Now, where does the unrest go? It's going to be lowest tax for area, which is one of these 2. And then highest alphabetic order, which is L. So we're going to flip that. That's where the unrest goes. And then for Austria, so lowest tax for these guys, though, is either Sungao or Crane. And of course, that's the what am I trying to say? Alphabetical, higher one. Okay, and then this event happens, and this event, they got a really cool chart here you can look at to see what all the event icons are. And it's just basically ships are going to be lost at sea if they're not adjacent to a friendly port. Every ship is adjacent to a friendly port right now, so nothing's going to happen. Um, this one has a port here, and this ship has a port there. So nothing happens with that particular secondary event at the bottom. And then coins come on again, like so. And then the last event comes out. And this is a Polish one. So now we go to Poland, who isn't quite ready to draw an event yet. So they're going to do a military action, and this is where life gets interesting. So let's see what they're going to do. Actually, before I even do that, let's roll die. I'm going to have a 6. It'll mean something soon. Are they at war? No. Do you have a claim? No. This is a power struggle thing. Those don't come out until like age 2, so this is always a no for now. There's no royal succession, and then we rolled against the chart, and we rolled a 6. So let's go see what their 6 is. We have to find Poland. And that's here. We have to use a military chart. A 6 is Crimea. So that's the opposite direction, thankfully. So Poland is going to put a claim in Crimea, which is way down here. Okay, but we're not done with the chart. After they do that, is it an opponent? Yes. The word opponent drives me nuts. That means, is it one of us? And the answer is no. So it should have said, is it a player or a bot? But so we're going to go up this way. And so the answer is no, actually. Does it have less than 4 cubes in that area? And the target is eligible. Those are both yes. Is their strength greater than or equal to the bot's strength? And the answer is no. So they're going to declare war, actually, on that target, spend a cube, and recruit 9 units. This is why I was hoping it wasn't going to be Prussia. So these guys don't kid around. So they declared war, they spend a cube, and they're going to get 9 units, boom, added to their army, just like that. It's, they don't, this is not a laughing matter, that's for sure. Alright, so we're going to go over here, and it keeps going. Do they have any allies? They do. It's Lithuania, and they have 2 cubes on them. For such an ally, remove 2 cubes from areas, and gain 2 cubes, and flip the alliance side over. So, again, 2 cubes are coming away, and those cubes go into their available pool. And then the alliance flips, so Lithuania is helping them in the battle. They're not done. Alright, so we were here. Now, Crimea can do a defensive call to arms, which is nobody. All cubes in Crimea would get removed if Poland had any there. Is there any naval battles? Is there any land battles? The answer is no to both of those. Is their army greater than double the strength? Yes, it is. Is the army on the board? No, it's not. Place the army in the area closest to the enemy. And then check for, does it trigger a battle? No. Are there hostile spaces less than 2 spaces away? Yes. Move the army there and then fight. And that's exactly what they're going to do. So they're going to grab this army here and place it as close as they can, which is there, because they have to deploy in their own area. And then they're going to move here, which is just 1 space away, and they're going to fight. So the NPR has 1, 2, 3, 4 provinces here. It doesn't say, actually. So they're actually going to war with, well, it is Crimea, so it's this country, not Kaffa. So Crimea is 1, 2, 3, 4 strong. So when the bots are always um, what's the right word? The NPRs just roll dice against the bots, but the bots don't roll dice back. And it's a little different than how an NPR like that would actually get to draw a card to see if it has a general in the whole 9 yard. So the way the land battles work, so let's just go through the chart here. Is the enemy a PR, which is a player realm? The answer is no. And so here you can see they're going to roll battle dice where the number of infantry dice is equal to the hostile units. There's no opportunity for them to apply a general. And so then casualties get assigned, and then they just check to see if the bot still has troops left. So in this case, it's going to be 4 dice. So we're going to come here, and we're going to grab 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're going to roll them. And so they did 2 hits against the bot. So Poland loses 2. And we come over here, and it's just going to be they instantly lose. So does the bot have units remaining? Yes. Resolving bot receives 1 because they were victorious. And then the turn's over. So another cube goes to Poland. Alright. Then it would go to us, but we passed. So we're over to here, and they have 1,000,000 actions left to go. So they're going to do diplomacy. And this card gets discarded. That's a development one, naval tradition. Okay, so diplomacy for these guys, they have Norway here that they need to woo, and there's 2 cubes there, and there's 2 cubes on Sweden, but they already have a royal marriage and an alliance. So this is going to get interesting. They're going to annex them. So we come back to diplomacy. Right here, you can see they're both there. Do they have a higher tax income than the NPR? That's a good question. Their tax income is 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 against, looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So the answer is yes. Do they have cubes greater than that? So do they have more than, or do they have at least 7 cubes in Switzerland? Or I'm sorry, Sweden. They have 3. So the answer is no. So they're not going to be able to annex them yet. Select Sweden. Are there free spaces? Yes. They're going to add 2 cubes into the target area. And alliance is not possible. Royal marriage not possible. They're going to add 2 more. So 4 cubes get added, and then they're going to do this check. But let's get the 4 cubes in first. So they now have 5 cubes in the capital area, and then 2. So they got their 7 cubes that they need, but they would need to do another action to do that. Okay, are they at peace and have 6 or more cubes left? They do. They have exactly 6. So they're going to go to the diplomatic chart, and they're going to do a diplomatic action again, which is crazy. They rolled a 1. So we got to load up this chart here. Go to the Kalmar bot. Diplomatic, they rolled a 1. The owner of a Curtius is who they're going to be. Where the heck is a Curtius? I don't know my cities that well. Oh, it's Norway. Okay, so now they're going to go woo Norway. So that is totally what a Kalmar bot would do. And so, is there any free space? Yes. Do they have cubes less than their tax income? If so, they'll spend 2 cubes to add 2 more. 2 bot cubes to add 2 more cubes. So we got to check their influence. Their influence is 4. And this is 1, 2, 3, 4. So they only have 4 income. So is it less, or was it less than or equal? Less. The answer is no. It's not less. So now they're going to another target. Oh boy. 6 again. And the answer is no on that one as well. So we're going to roll again. We got a 1. We're going around in circles. So who else can they target? Well, no, I'm sorry. 6 in this case is Estonia and Livonia. How the heck did I get Sweden? Oh, because we didn't do this for Sweden. Okay. So Estonia and Livonia is this one here. So we, yeah. So they're going to spend 2 cubes. And they're going to put 2 cubes of influence out there. And now their turn's over. Okay, Austria. Because of the event, they now have equal number of cubes, so they're going to take another action. And they have nothing to convert, so they're going to focus. Expansion. Like so. Now we go to Poland. Poland has 6 cubes out and 5 cubes in. They are at war, though. I forgot about that, so now they're going to siege. And basically it's 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's going to cost them 4 cubes. They're going to spend 4 cubes, and they're occupying everything. Alright, and technically speaking, they should have occupy markers on everything. So let's just do that for good measure. So there it is. They now have all that occupied. It cost them a lot of cubes. We come back over to here, and you can see it's 4 and 4. They're evened up. So they do go again. And they are going to draw an event. So for this, they're going to roll a die. I actually hit flip. I didn't roll. So that's why I rolled it again. So it's a 5. Now a 5 is they're going to try to take an opponent's. Which is, a 5 means they're going to try to take their own. Here. I'll show you. The 4 is they're going to take their opponent's. A 5 or a 6 are going to take their own. Which isn't there. Are they at war with anybody? No. And then they're just going to take the leftmost one. So the leftmost one for them is this one, which is going to give them another cube. So let's do that real quick. I get another cube. And then we come down to here. Come on. Alright. Choose one of your own areas and one area adjacent to it and place diverse faith tokens in both areas. This is horrible for them. Add unrest in one of yours in the first area and 2 in the second. Then you may pay 3 to research the tolerance idea. They do have the 3 cubes, and they always pay for something if they can, when they have a choice like this. So they will pay 3, and that will allow them to research tolerance. So they're going to have, they just scored 2 more points. So they're really rocking right now. Tolerance doesn't do anything for them, by the way. It does, the text means something for us, but not for them. But by having the tolerance idea, they now have an administrative idea, so they get this. So this means they get 1 less unrest whenever they gain unrest. This is very specific to... so basically they're going to remove an unrest at the phase where we remove unrest for stability. So there's a specific spot in the game where you're either adding unrest or removing unrest because of your stability. This will allow them to remove unrest. And that is explained up here. It's in their ideas section. And for whatever reason, I am not finding it. But I know it's here. I promise you, it's here. It's for the bot mat. Let's see. And research. Once a bot has researched the first idea, another idea. Oh, right here. This is where it's expressed. So they're going to remove one unrest in phase 3H. That's the specific spot in the game I was telling you about. Right here. I was not seeing it. Okay, we're not done. So they have to select 2 provinces to do this craziness. Alright, when they're selecting provinces, there is actually a choice section right here, and they have to pick an area. So when given the option, they do it in alphabetical order. If it's going to be bad for them, they choose before the alphabetic priority. They prioritize provinces with the lowest possible tax value. So, and this is the part where the players in the game that I've played with, we get a little wonky about this. So they only have these provinces here. They just have cubes everywhere else. But let's say they chose this one, and then it has to go into another area. They could just choose this area where it's just an NPR and then nothing happens there. So if they would have chosen, for example, something that's next to me, they could have gained unrest, and then I have to gain 2 unrest. But see, we're not bordering each other, so they have to pick 2 areas, and that's the problem, is choose one of your own areas and one area adjacent to it. And then they have to put unrest tokens on them. Add 1 to your own town and 2 and on any 2 in the second area. The problem is that there's no other town in the other areas. So we don't like the whole notion of, hey, I'm going to choose this one, do my unrest, and I'm going to choose that one, and 2 unrest goes there. Now, it can be very powerful where if we were next to each other, like I said, you can, like, here was a perfect example. If Poland's a player, this is all vassals. So, and only, hold on. Is that really theirs? No, that's not theirs. I apologize. That's one too many. Put that back. So anyways, it's a really cool thing we did is, Poland picked this one, flipped one of these, and then the Ottoman Empire had all of these, and then they were able to put 2 on the Ottomans, right? That's the whole idea, is, okay, I'm going to do a little bit of damage to me, but I'm going to do a lot of damage to you. In this case, they have to pick 2 areas, and of course the area they're going to pick should be this one, because it's the lowest tax, whatever. And technically speaking, this is a part of this area here, so that's 3. This one's a 2, and these are 4. So this would be the next area over. It doesn't even have 2 towns. So they would just pick this one, and then they're done. Now, like I said, if you're a hard-nosed for the rules, and you're dealing with a rules lawyer player in the midst, they would argue that they could pick this one, and then pick that one over there, and then just nothing happens. The game does have the concept of, if you can't fulfill it, you can't choose it. So the idea of any 2 towns in the second area implies that it should be, the second area needs to have towns in it. And so it can't be an NPR. That's our ruling. I'm not sure if that's the official ruling, and I don't know what the designers would say, but that's my take on it, is that I would never allow a player to do that, at least in our games. We've all agreed, basically. Okay, so I know I just rambled about that too much. A cardinal dies, and when it's a bot like this, It is the Austria bot, so he's not going to kill his own Cardinal. He just kills the one that's furthest to the right. So Poland lost theirs, and then everybody else basically slides down. All right. Then the DNPRs go. Now, this is not blue, but remember, for this particular scenario, we're doing a special rule where France is going to expand no matter what. So what France does here is they're going to grab the lowest tax area, and they're going to prioritize areas that they already have a presence. So it's going to be Anjou, because alphabetic order after that. So Anjou is first, and so they took that. That is done. I know that seemed like a lot. It sort of was. But yes. And that was Austria passing. Okay, now we go to Poland. Poland is down to 1 cube. They are at war, but that's pretty much settled. So they're going to do their event now. So let's go get that done. We're going to come over here and roll a die. A 5 is they're going to take their own. And they happen to have their own, which very interesting. Alright, so when they take their own, they choose option A. So they're going to form the Polish-Lithuanian Union. Poland gains this, which basically means they get to remove an unrest, an alliance with Lithuania, and they add 3 cubes in Lithuanian areas, and they gain a cube. This is pretty much a waste for them, other than the 3 cubes in Lithuanian areas, because they already have alliance with Lithuania. So we're just going to put the 3 cubes there, I think. Yeah. We'll just put them there. So they did need the cubes. That part is true. They need a lot of cubes to be able to annex them. So that does help them there. I already gave them the extra cube here. What else am I missing? Alliance is already... Oh, they get to remove an unrest. I don't know if they have any unrest. They do. Right there. So that goes away. And just a reminder that the bots don't have a concept of stability. So if they gain stability, they lose unrest. If they lose stability, they gain unrest. That's just part of the... There's a little chart in the bot book. All right. That means this one's the unselected one. Everybody has selected a event now. Well, hold on. Denmark hasn't selected one yet. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We added them, so they added 2 more, so that's 5. Somebody selected an event and I just didn't... Oh, Denmark did select an event. No. Okay, this one was Poland. This one was just Denmark. This one was Austria. And then, yeah, I have mine. So, yeah, everybody's taken their event. I apologize. Everybody's taken one. So, who was the... I never moved them up. I also skipped Austria, because Poland was not after Denmark. So, Austria would have passed. So that meant Poland has one more turn, and so they drew their event. Now, since Austria passed, second, they get a cube. Poland, like I said, took the event, and that means Denmark has one final action, and in this case, they would have also passed. So they would not have done an action. So that brings us to the end of the round. A little quicker than the Grand Campaign. So first thing we do is we have to resolve this. So this part hurts. All squares take a wound. So I have 1 wound here. On this guy. And then rebellion. So everywhere there's unrest, they have to roll dice. So Poland got lucky, although technically they have 4 unrest here because that's under occupation. So we're going to grab 1, 2, 3, and 4 and roll that for Poland. So one of them goes away and they lose a cube. So technically speaking, these are all supposed to be flipped over. So I'm going to just flip this one back, of course, and then put all this back on. And then Denmark has 2. They're going to lose a cube, and one of them gets better. They will, of course, choose the best one. And they lose a cube. There. I think that's it. Austria doesn't have any unrest. No, Austria does have one. There you go. Austria loses a cube. We don't have any, so we're good there. Okay, that brings us to the end of the round. We're going to do, obviously, Age 1 has 4 rounds in it, and that's the first half. This will be, that was the first quarter. So this is the second quarter, end of the first half, and then these are the cards for the second half here. And in fact, I should just do this now. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter. There we go. We're going to go ahead and shuffle these. Nope, I did not mean to do that. Come back. Okay, we have to do the end of area stuff. Remove casus belli and truces. There aren't any. NPR invasions. There won't be any. No one's at war. There's no rebels on the map. There are no rebel soldiers. Peace resolution. This is a full annexation for them. So all the occupation tokens go away, and Poland now is in control. And we're going to just discard all those tokens. And then Poland can remove this claim to flip 2 of these over. That one and that one. So they got rid of 2 of their unrest. Now, one thing that my friends and I got in a little bit of trouble for is we would do this really fast, and we keep wondering, is there ever a time that they're not going to do what we think they're going to do? So they achieved a total victory. So they annex everything. They do score points based on the annex value. We don't ever get to, but they do. So they're going to score 3 points. Because it was, no, I'm sorry, 4 points, because it was 4 tax value. And then it moves all the way over and then down to here. And it's just saying, if the enemy still existed, there would be a truce token. That's like, you know, if you were fighting France and you just took 2 provinces. But this enemy got fully annexed, so there's no truce token here. And then here, if they remove their claim, where they now own all the provinces, they would gain 2 unrest gone. But that's not what happened here. I'm glad I did check. And I'll explain to you what just happened. They don't own this province right here. So the claim stays and the unrest stays. The unrest doesn't get removed until they take all the provinces. Now, one of the things that's goofy is you could argue the bot should have declared war on all the provinces, including that one. That is an option that we have as a player, and technically the bot. So when the bot does their military action, let's just check it. See, it's saying go to the military chart, and then NPR targets area, see, plural, and target singular is eligible. So we're checking a singular target, and that's the That's the problem we're having with some of the language. But if you were to go to, let's say, the bot chart for Poland, we rolled, military. It was the realm in Crimea. See, realm. So that's a singular realm or country. It's not the entire area of Crimea. So with that being said, we did it properly. They did not declare war on Kaffa, which is actually Genoa, and everything stays just like that. Because since they didn't control all the areas, they can't pull the claim back and get two of these to remove. Now, we could have. That was totally an option for us. Anytime you pull back the claim, you remove two unrest, but the bot chart says, nope, it stays. And, that's fine by us. Just keep the unrest going for them. Nobody else was at war, so there's nothing else to resolve. All right. Prestige penalties. This mainly only happens if you have a marriage succession crisis, which we don't have. Interregnum happens when there's no leader, and it only affects us. And so we got to flip that back over. The prestige penalty, by the way, would have been if this happened. That's not the case. Religious dissent. Okay, this might take a while. Anywhere that there's religious dissent, which right here, this is Muslim, they get one more unrest. So for the bots, this only happens once. It's not area to area. Technically speaking, these Orthodox ones are also eligible. So this is a C and this is a B, so they're actually going to get it here. Remember, it's alphabetical order. Then arguably, actually, this is lower tax income, so it would be one of these. So L before P. So this is where the religious unrest. They are Catholic. These are all non-Catholic areas. I don't think anybody else has this problem. It's Catholic, solid Catholic everywhere else. We're good to go there. Now we get to gain and remove unrest for wars and stability. So this is where that idea comes in. And so the Polish... Nope. So Denmark here actually has an idea that lets them remove an unrest. So they're just going to go over here, and now they got rid of all their unrests. So they're good. Okay. Right here. Roll rebel dice. So this is happening again. So for Poland, they got a problem. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, we roll area by area, but the bots just roll all at once. And they roll a maximum of 5 dice. Poland's almost at their max. One of them is going to rebel. 2 of them rebels, and then they lose a cube. So, lost another cube. And 2 rebels. It's going to be lowest tax area first, and then alphabetical order. So we're going to grab 2 of these. One drops there, and one's going to be there. So basically, Poland lost those towns. The good news for us is Poland's going to be distracted taking those back. And that means they're going to have less actions to declare more wars on us. So, keep going. Oh, there's no more unrest on the board. So the rest of us are okay. Oh, I apologize. Austria still has one. So they got to roll 1 die. And that's always good. They lose a cube. You always want to see your bots lose cubes, because that means they can do less stuff to you. Okay, we keep going. The Papal Controller, there are 4 Catholic countries, and they get to score 1 point for each Catholic country, a maximum of 3. So they are going to score... hold on. That's here. They're going to score 3, and then the Holy Roman Emperor scores 1. So all of that is Austria. So 1, 2, 3, 4 points for Austria. And I skipped a bunch of stuff, but what I skipped is trivial. This is all us. We're going to collect our revenue and our monarch power, and then we'll do the cleanup phase. So for us, our revenue is a whopping 4 coins, and our upkeep is 4, 5, 6, 7 coins, plus 1 more for our army, 8. We just made 4 coins, so we just lost 4. So that's not good. And then as far as cubes go, we get 1 from our leader and 1 from this, so 2. Good thing we gained those 5 ducats when we passed. And then here we're going to get 3 plus 3 is 6, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is the first part of having such a small empire. The larger countries, when you play like France or Spain or anybody, their income is high enough that you can absorb having advisors like this. I'm still going to argue that this is the right path. I would rather go into loans and keep these advisors than not have them. Because the way you win this game is through actions, and actions are done with cubes. Now, I understand I passed with a lot of cubes on the board, but we're going to be able to do a lot more now that we have all these cubes and then some. Because it's going to cost me 5 cubes to go up 1 stability, but now that I'm up 1 stability, I just gained 2 more money. Well, heck, that's half of my total country's revenue. So being able to spend these 5 cubes to go up 1 stability is actually well worth it. Alright, and then for military, we're going to get 3 plus 2 is 5. So we got a lot of military cubes coming in. 4 and 5. So we can definitely start considering declaring war. And we got enough of these to get claims out and then use those claims to declare war. We should be able to grow our empire quite a bit, actually. So next is the cleanup phase. So there are no allied units out yet. Actually, Poland technically had allied units in Lithuania. I didn't even bother getting them out because they weren't going to lose. The manpower reserves get updated. I'll do that in a second. There's no merchants that were used or anything like that. Any bot that has 10 or more income loses their alliance. It's very shocking that they put this in the rule, but I don't know, maybe it's just because the bots are already powerful as it is. But if you look over here, their income is 16, so they lose their alliance with Lithuania. I don't know, I guess it represents that Lithuania they're getting too strong. I don't know. Denmark's income, it doesn't take much to get to 10. Denmark's income is 5 plus 4 is 9. They don't lose theirs yet. And then this is 9. But it's base tax income. They do get more income because of their being in the HRE, but the base is 9. So they don't lose any of theirs yet either. But, so I guess you could argue 2 of the 3 didn't lose their alliances. But yeah, Poland just lost something big there. So with that being done, we have to refresh our manpower, which is 2. So we have a 1 and a 2. And this guy here has 7 plus 1 is 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 4 plus 1 is 5. And they get 3 for being HRE. And then 3 plus 2 is 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They are done. So we are ready to start the next round. Okay, so we go to the next round here. We get to draw 3 cards. And I honestly don't know what to draw. Obviously, I would like a better advisor than a +1. But I can't even afford the ones I already have, so there's a part of that. But I think I'm gonna just draw, and I get to look at them as I draw them. So I'm gonna draw the first one. Yeah, we'll just draw one of this one. Now, what's interesting, no. And do I really want to draw another one of these? Because I don't really like the war cards. I hardly like them at all. I'm going to take another one of these. And we got another exceptional year. Okay. So I have to choose to pay 6 ducats to keep these. The guys who developed this game have like massive erections for espionage. Look at this. Or spy network. Cost 1 less if you have spy network in play. Exhaust 2 uses of an active spy network. Cost 1 less if you have a spy network in play. Like, they got all these like spy cards, and all of us think that they're worthless. They're not that cool. Cancel the effect of a covert action that targets your realm, and or exhaust 2 uses of a spy network. So the hand, by the way, is a reaction card that you play in reaction to somebody. And then, here. So, like, what is a spy network? I think there was one already drawn here. Able to study tick. Nope, that's counter. Here, we can. Spy. Spy network. So, it's a 4. It's basically a development card you could use 4 times. You can target an opponent, and they must roll rebel dice for all their unrest. I guess that can cause problems if, like Poland, who has a lot of unrest. You can add 2 unrest to a target opponent's town, or replace an opponent's cube with your own. And then it costs you 2 cubes to do each of those things. So you're spending 2 of your precious cubes to make somebody reroll their rebel dice. Or you're spending 2 of your precious cubes to add 2 unrest to someone else. It's not the Shazang, I don't understand it. And it's like, okay, well, if you have one of these in play, then you get all these other bonuses. So one argument a friend made is, look, it only costs you 1 cube and 2 ducats to play, and now that it's out there, you don't touch it. You don't even have to use the 4 actions on the bottom. You just have a spy network, and now you get to play all these other cards cheaper. I guess so. And so, how much is that worth it? I don't know. But that is the thing. So I get to do stuff, and I'm actually going to get rid of this card. I don't even want it. It cost me 2 ducats to keep it, by the way. So now I'm going to pay 4 ducats to keep these 2. And that puts me at bankrupt, but I didn't have to take a loan. The plan is I'm probably going to have to do an exceptional year. Actually, I may not want this one either. This lets me appoint an advisor from discards. That actually might be worth it. And over here, look, I got my +2 I was looking for, which is better than the +1. Yeah, it's hard to say. The advisors, if I could get one discarded here, I would take that. And then, of course, there's advisors waiting here. All right, I paid my 4 ducats. We're going to go. My plan is I'm going to gain 9 with one of these, because I think that's going to help me, get going. I do have to be careful because I already had planned to spend all 5 of these. So I'm probably going to have to focus my nation and move cubes over. But it's all good. Alright, now who gets to go first? Well, it's going to be me again. Because the first player marker moves to whoever passed first. And that was me. So I do get to go first. I am going to... I don't know if I'm in a rush to do anything at the moment, but I am going to spend 5 cubes. To increase my stability by 1, because that extra 2 income is, I mean, it's literally, it's 1/3 of my total income right now. So that is worth it. Even though it's cost me 5 cubes. 5 cubes could get me something out here too. Like one of these, and I score victory points for those. I just, I can't argue enough how much that, like, this one, 5 cubes makes it cost 4 cubes afterwards now. Again, it's great, but I need to just do that. And then let's not forget that I have missions here that I can change. I do have an alliance with another realm, but it's not in the HRE. So that was actually maybe a poor choice for me to do this. But that's not to say I can't do an alliance with somebody else soon. But I do just realize that by picking Prussia, I'm outside of the HRE. Expand the nation. Of course, I just got to conquer some stuff to do that. And yeah. Alright. I'm going to live with it. Let's go. Oh, these guys. That goes back in. And that also goes back in. Shuffle. Here we go. Alright, they're going to convert. There's nobody. Oh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. They're going to spend 2 to convert. A diplomatic card, or administrative card, I mean, comes out. And this one is... Oh, that's a really nice one. You can convert small towns into large for just 2 and 3 ducats. It's a little cheaper than what I had to spend. Alright, they are doing Papal Curia, which means coming over here. Oh, that's funny. Oh no, there's room. They just add themselves here. I was going to say they're going to bump their own person. I think they score points for that. Let me check. Nope, they don't. Okay, we moved to Austria, so same deal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now you might be wondering, like, what am I doing? There was some cleanup I forgot to do. This is bot-specific cleanup. They get 7 cubes back over here, and then anything left over in there spent gets discarded. And then here, if it says event or idea, it automatically goes back. In this case, there's 2 cards. We're shuffling them, and one goes back, and the other one is lost. And same here. The top one is going to go back, and this one is lost. Shuffle, shuffle, and here we go. So they're doing unrest. They don't have any, so instead they're going to focus on economics, which would be here, but instead they're going to do this, and they're going to get those 2 cubes back. So expansion is what they're taking. And we come over here, and there's the expansion one. So they're going to get 5 points. Alright. Now, this bot. They are going to convert, and they will convert. This is not going to be Papal Curia for them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Then the rest get discarded. Okay, so they're going to spend 2 cubes. And yes, they're going to convert. And why do I know that so strongly? Well, because that is their primary action they're going to try to do. And what they're going to do is take their highest tax area, which I think is Crimea now, and convert it to Catholic. And in doing so, they score 2 points. And I forgot to give them 1, 2, 3, 4 because of their conquer. You know, they conquered here. Now, with that being said, I just realized they're not doing that. Instead, they're going to spend 1 cube to siege. I forgot, they're under attack by rebels. So this hasn't happened yet. It will. I put it back on top of their deck. And then take away 2 points for now. Okay, back to us. Okay, we did our plan. Now I'm going to do a national focus. And I'm going to bring 2 cubes over to the administration. And that'll allow us to do some more stuff. This card is not needed, and neither is this one. So I can choose to discard both of these cards to draw a third. And in fact, that's what I'm going to do. So 1 and 2. So this one I'm going to discard to there. So I discarded 2 cards. I get to draw 1. Now, if I'm willing to spend ducats and a cube, I can draw from the discard pile. I don't want to do that. Instead, I want to just draw one of these. I love these cards. I just don't have a lot of cubes to spend on this. So that's, you know, as much as I love these cards and I favor them the most, they have really nice development cards and things. They're probably not the smartest thing for me to do. So I'm going to go ahead and draw one of these. Because it'd be nice to get something that lets me subjugate. And that's what I just... Alright, well I got Spy Network. So I can spend the 1 here to save 1 over here. I guess it's a thing. I can do it. But that is my whole turn. Oh, I forgot also, we got to look at the events. Oh, wrong side. Over here. Okay, we already took our event for the first half of Age 1. So we know that these 5 cards do not contain events that are specific to Brandenberg. So whatever these are, we get the freedom to pick whatever we want and whatever suits our fancy. And we can wait until they get coins on them, right, and start to make some money that way. This one will impact Denmark. So Denmark may pay 5 ducats to place their vassal with towns on Schleswig and Holstein. Because they're a bot, they already control Schleswig and Holstein. So if we let Denmark select their own and they choose option A, they're basically going to spend 5 ducats to do nothing. And of course there's going to be unrest and they gain a cube. It's all that. They're going to spend 5 ducats just to gain a cube. Now, they don't have ducats, so that is one of the drawbacks, I guess, but Denmark may replace their vassal with a town on Schleswig and must remove their vassal, if any, from Holstein. Now, these are great options for a player who's playing Denmark, but they already have complete control of these. So both of these are like a waste for Denmark. It's not even worth it for us to take it and try to screw Denmark over. There's nothing to screw them over with. Border friction, we'll gain a cube and we gain a claim in any area adjacent to our realm, but we lose 3 cubes from that area, or areas adjacent to it. That's not very helpful when we're trying to get cubes. Or we can lose 2 victory points to gain a cube and place 2 realms somewhere. Yeah, this isn't good, but this is the part. Like, look at it. These guys are going to get sick. And then revolts. I can choose an area that has a town, and this is the exact same thing we just resolved. So, I don't like any of those events, but the good news is I don't have to pick any of those at the moment. Alright, I believe it is Denmark's turn now. And they've already spent 2 of their cubes. Oh my gosh, these cards are coming out like mad. So they're going to focus on economics, but they're not. They're going to instead take politics. And a chit goes out. Oh, they already have politics. How did that happen? So what happens in that case? See, it says, is there in any focus area already? Yes. Place the bot spent in this focus area. If they now have 2, milestone matching focus type is available. Oh, if it's not available, they just score 3 points. Okay, that's what's going to happen. Alright, so they don't get the 2 cubes this time. But they do get 3 points, so that's not a bad deal for them. It's not quite as easy for us to do these milestones or to score that many points. That is so interesting. This was the only one we had a shot at, and we're already going to be reduced to 3 points now. Okay, Austria. Military. Ooh, they're going to declare war on something. I'm going to roll a die because I have a feeling it's coming. We rolled a 3. Are they at war? No. Do they have a claim? No. 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 And there. So they rolled a 3. Three is Bohemia. Ooh. Bohemia, they're going to put a claim. Boy, it'd be nice to be allied with Bohemia right now. Or maybe not. Let's see what else happens. Is it an opponent? No. Is it eligible? Of course it is. They have less than 4 cubes, yes. They probably have double the strength, yes. No, the target does not have double. They are declaring war. They're going to put 9 units. Alright, so I think this is odd for Austria to be doing, but they are. They're going to spend a cube and declare war on their HRE electorate. Bot has an NPR with allies. 2 more cubes. I think the answer is yes. They have Hungary, don't they? They do. So 2 of their cubes are going to go away. And technically what Hungary does is by joining the war, they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I would swear they had a 9th one somewhere. Maybe they just have 8. So they have 8 tax income. So 1, 2, 3, and 4 of these guys come out and are in their they're in their manpower reserve. So they recruited 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They technically get 6, 7, 8, and 9. Oh, you know what? No, they don't, because they did the call to arms after they did the recruit action. My apologies. So they don't have those yet. So this is where they are. They remove 2, and they gain 2 cubes from the ally. So the ally basically gave them some extra actions. Bohemia can call defensive ally. They don't have any. All the bot's cubes get removed from the target. So Bohemia, for example, the white cube gets lost. I'm not going to have any favor now. So naval battle, land battle, the answer is no. Is their army double? Yes. Is the army map on the board? Nope. They're going to go into closest area? Nope. They're going to move towards the area and trigger a battle and win. And they'll gain a cube for winning. So we're going to go, they're going to drop here and then move in, and then they're going to go to war with them. And so they have 2, 3, 4, 5 strength. Bohemia does. So this is not going to be a pushover for sure. Um, so they're going to roll 5 dice. And I was going to say, if they roll like this, they're going to do horrible. They did 2 hits on Austria. So they barely made a dent. And they lost now. Because this stupid... Like, against us, they would have done a lot more damage. Because we actually have to kill them. Here, look, number of infantry is number of hospital units. They roll once. Do the bots have units remaining? Yes. Boom, they win. I don't understand. Like, remove half of the initial number of units in bot's army. Okay. If bots has no units remaining, how am I going to remove half the initial units in the bot's army? That's what I don't understand. This is the goofiest rules ever. It makes no sense at all. So anyways, note, the 1 gain for battle first turn. Yeah, that's all it says. So they even get a cube out of the deal. So they just like crush NPRs. It's not even funny. Alright, their turn's over. We go to Poland. Oh, I'm sorry. They don't do this yet either. They have to defend. And so the defend action... First of all, it costs a cube. How do I know? Because they're under attack. So they're going to go to defend and spend a cube. And is there any area with invaders? Yes. Do they have 2 or more? Yes. Oh, answer is no. Is their army greater than? Yes. Is it on the map? Yes. Invaders in any area where bot's MAC is greater? Yes. And then basically they're going to move towards that area and battle. And then done. So 1, 2, and then fight. Now, technically, these guys, they do fight. They have a value of 1. They don't do anything, and they die. So, they did have to spend a cube to do that. And then next turn, they're going to siege. So it's going to be a while, but they're eventually going to do the convert action. So now it's to us. So we did some good shenanigans here. I have 2 cubes. We're going to play Exceptional Year, which cost me these 2 cubes. Whoops. And I don't have any unrest to remove. However, I am going to gain 9 ducats, which we need. And this card goes away. Okay, now we go back to these guys. Oh my gosh, another focus. This time on expansion. Well, the good news is all those cards are going to be gone, I guess. I don't know. Here, they got a million things to do. They are in an area where they need to siege. And that should be... Armies on the map and can siege. So they're going to do this. They spend 1 per tax. So this is 2, 3, 4, and 5. So they're going to spend 5 cubes. And then they just automatically get all this nonsense. That sort of hurts, because Bohemia was one of the ones that I was thinking we had a shot at. Alright. Okay, so they got all four of those. Now, here's what's interesting, and I don't know if you guys picked up on this yet, is here. They're going to fully annex them. Because I don't think there's anything in the little peace treaty thing that says, hey, if you're the HRE, you're not going to do it. Emperor declares war on HRE member. Okay, that didn't happen. Emperor enforces full annexation peace term on an HRE member of the same state religion. -1. So they're going to move down the chart here. And so that's going to make them weaker in many ways. They're going to gain less, whatchamacallit, they get less manpower. They are still going to get their cube for this, which I think, by the way, I forgot to give them. So they still have 1,000,000 cubes. Alright, they're done. We go over to here, and like I said, they're going to spend a cube to siege. And they get rid of this token. So their turn's over. Come back to us. Alright, we did our job. We got some money. We got some admin power. So we focused on our income, economic side. Now we gotta focus on getting to business. So I can start putting some claims out and maybe conquering some nations. Now in the video game, these one city states were very bad if you took them over, especially if you were the HRE emperor. You needed as many of these single city states as possible to keep your strength high. But it doesn't look like that's the case here at all. In fact, it seems like there's a lot of incentive to, just go hog wild. So, for example, Lubeck here is a great target. So is Magdeburg, Hamburg, Bremen. And actually in the video game, Magdeburg is something you sort of try to go after. So we're going to try to go after Magdeburg. So how do we do that? Well, if you look here, we can fabricate a claim for 2 per claim minus your spy network. So this is what's interesting about this, is if you have a spy network, I think in play, it costs 1 less. Let's make sure. Maybe that's where the spy network actually becomes valuable. Pay 2 per claim. It just says minus this, so I think, oh, here we go, covert actions. These are the covert actions available. Fabricate claims. And then some of these are... Okay, so it's considered a covert action, so it can be countered. And if I have this spy network, yeah, see, those are covert actions, so they can be countered. Okay, so fabricating claim it is a spy network action in the game. Alright, it just costs 2. Now, here's the part that sort of stinks. I can spend 2 and get Saxony, for example, but I have to fight all 3 of these with my one-man army. Now, I do have an alliance, so if I spend 2 cubes, I can get, 2 army from them, and that'll help me to take down this 3-man army that I'm going up against. Magdeburg is a single area. It costs me 2 diplomatic power to get a claim against this, and 2 diplomatic power to get a claim against that. But the claim does work for the whole area. So I actually think this area is wonderful because I have 3 single provinces I can go to war against. Yeah, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to spend 2 diplomatic power so I can get a claim on this area right here. And then when I go to war, I can choose to go to war against all of them at once or one at a time. The problem with one at a time is it costs me more cubes because I have to spend a cube every time I declare war. But the advantage is I don't have to get hit by all of them because I only have at most 2 armies that I can go up against. Unless if I call the alliance, then I can get 2 more. But I'm really pushing my luck with being able to attack all of them at once. It's more cube efficient to attack them all at once, but when you're a small dude like us, I think you just got to take what you can get and go slowly. So that's what I'm planning to do. We're going to go slow. And if I can get more towns out, that's going to increase our tax revenue and manpower, so then we can start to take on these big guys, which right now we can't take on these big guys, not even in the slightest. Okay, done. Move on. Here, he's got 4 cubes left. Let's see what he does. Diplomacy. And he's going to discard one of these. Royal marriage. We could have used that. While we're over here, let's roll the die. I got a 6. And yes, let's do diplomacy. The 6 is going to come in handy. Coming up. Yes, they have. Well, actually, I may not need to roll. They have this in place with Sweden. They have a higher tax in Sweden. There are now 7 cubes on Sweden. They're going to annex Sweden. And all that's going to be remove the bot's cubes equal to the target income. And they're going to score 3 points. Boy, are they... Denmark is just taken off. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All the cubes ended up going in here. 6, 7. And the alliance goes away. The marriage goes away. They're just totally dominating right now. 3, 4, 5. I mean, look at... They're just exploding. So they got all Sweden now. Norway's next for them. Holy buckets. Alright. Do they own all the province in a new area and has less than 2 in play? Yes. If able, spend a cube to place a core in such an area. Alright, so this core thing, it's a little goofy. But basically it means that they are no longer Sweden. And they're now considered an official core part of Denmark. So they're going to pick this because it has the highest tax. Because it's 2, 3, 4. So this is now considered core Denmark. Now, granted, there was only one... These 2 were already core. But now the whole thing is core. That's not to say, like, if you conquer them... so if rebels were ever to rebel, this would not revert back to Sweden. Whereas here, these could revert back to Sweden and Finland. And, that whole thing is Sweden. So these guys would revert back if rebels ever, took the town. That's all the core does, is it prevents the rebels and whatnot from taking the town. And so they did that, and they're done. It was a Denmark's doing fantastic. Now we're on Austria. They are on siege. Or no, they already did siege. Jerks. So let's keep going. They're going to do diplomacy. So they declared war. Well, actually, let's check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cubes are over here. 8 to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They are not doing diplomacy. They have spent more than they have. So now they're going to go do an event. So let's roll. A 1 means they take the leftmost, so they're doing revolts. Better than me. And then plague's coming up. Okay, so this is where, so they're going to gain a cube. They have to choose an area where they have a town, do a revolt, a town without unrest, and another area adjacent to it, and then add unrest to 2 in each area. One of these must be your own. Okay, so this is the town that would be selected, and there's nothing adjacent. So in this case, yeah, see, this is what I'm getting at. Like, do we prevent them, say, no, you can't choose that one? Because it has to be 2 in each town. That's the problem I have. And by the way, these are all flipped. Or do they have to adhere severely strict to the, strictly adhere to the card? That's what I'm trying to say. And they have to pick these 2 areas because, now again, the whole purpose of the card is this is actually a perfect one to play, and then France would have to flip 2 of them. But that's not the case here. So now you're looking at, okay, I have to flip 2 here, and then I have to flip 2 here, and it's like, oh my gosh, how was this beneficial of an event for them to take? But it does simply say revolts. I mean, that's not a fun thing to do. I don't know. I mean, you tell me what you think there, but it's, again, it's so easy to say, hey, I'm just going to pick this one, and oh, darn it, there's nobody around that has a town, so it doesn't spread anywhere else. I don't know. I honestly don't. Okay, so that's done. Now they're going to get hammered because now everybody's rolling unrest dice. So Poland just finished clearing up unrest, and 1, 2, 3, 4 dice are going to be rolled by them. And they're going to lose a cube and have another rebellion. So rebellion comes out. And it's going to go back. It's going to go here. And just so you know, the rebellion in this case, well, they did do a peace treaty, but it's not a core. So the rebellion in this case is the town is gone. They no longer have it. They have to retake that town if they want. So basically, Crimea liberated itself, and it does get tricky. So let me make sure I have this perfectly right. So here, it's not a core province. So that's for whenever there's. So when they rolled a rebellion, oh, that's on page 37. So they got a rebellion outcome. You must assign each rebellion result 1 to one of your towns with unrest of your choice. Rebels will siege the province you assign the rebellion to. If you assign it to a core province, you must place a rebel town. It is one that you occupy, or it is not one of your core. The province is liberated. And liberation. to the player mat. Realm other than the PR that owns or has vassalized it. Now controlled by the realm whose core province it is. Yeah, we did it right. So, yeah, the town goes back, and Crimea is now a thing. The only thing I was verifying is, like, would troops stay? And actually they do. Because when there's a rebellion, I've been doing that part wrong, one of these shows up, and they're the reason why the town gets taken. So if these guys want to come and quell this, they should have been killing rebels. And here should have been rebels, and there. We've been doing that part wrong, and I apologize. Rebels actually pop up when you roll that rebellion die. So now we got Austria here, who has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 from an event of their own choosing. Although technically this helps them. This is all lose a cube. And you might be wondering, why aren't they losing more than one cube? It's the rules. They get coddled. So one of these gets to flip back. So they get to pick their best one, highest, I guess KA. So that one would flip back. And they actually have 1, 2, 3 more rebellion, but they're capped at 5. They roll maximum 5 dice. So they got lucky. They should have been spanked for that. And then anybody with a circle gets sick. And that's this guy here. And then I have triangle and plus coming up. Man, oh man, they're just killing us here. Triangle. Yeah. Right, so the new event that came out is no better. It's Plague. That's horrible. Now, the events that weren't chosen at least get money on it. This one would at least help us a little. Alright, whose turn was that? That was Austria. And that means they do this. Now it's Poland. Poland is not... Well, actually, they have enemy invading. So they're going to spend a cube, and they're going to do the defend action. Area with invaders, yes. Do they have 2 more cubes left? No. Army greater than, yes. Army's on the map, yes. Yes. Move. Land battle. So now they're going to move 2 back. They're going to fight the rebels. So the rebels roll... went the wrong way. Rebels are going to roll 1 die. Another one bites the dust. Rebels dead. And they do get a cube for winning the battle. So Poland's turn is over. Now it is to us. So we got the claim in place. We have 3 diplomatic cubes still. We can try to form an alliance with somebody before we move forward with attacking. Who would it be? Well, the only one we could do is Pomerania, or we could start putting cubes. For example, we could maybe get Saxony to join us. The tricky part is Austria, of course, is getting expansive, but it's not the worst thing in the world to have somebody like Saxony helping us. We could even get like the Netherlands over here to help us. They're a little stronger. No, they're not. There's 3 different flags here. I thought they were all the same, but they're not. I'm actually glad I got them, but I do need, for one of my missions, I need an alliance internal. Yeah, let's do that. I'm gonna spend a diplomacy and to place a cube. Actually, I don't even have a cube here, do I? These guys are rougher because they're all one city towns. Well, I guess I don't have enough cubes to. Well, no, I could just do one. See if I do 2 diplomatic action. Yeah, I'll do 2 diplomat. I'll put 2 cubes out with 2 diplomatic actions. That's my turn. All right, Denmark. They can't do anything, so they're going to grab an event. So let's do that for them. They're going to be passing soon, which means we're not going to get that 5 ducats anymore. Darn it. 4. Okay, so this is 1, 2, 3. 4 is they're going to grab an opponent's. So they're going to take this one, which gives them a cube. And that does put money on these 2. And then this one comes out, and there's the one for Austria. This A actually hurts them. I don't know why the developers think that's a nice one for them. It does mean you could go to war with them and basically claim them, but you have to go to war and spend all the cubes and all that stuff. Okay, so what? Oh, they gain a cube because there was money on it. All right, so when they choose somebody else's, they're choosing B, which is supposed to screw them over, but I'm not sure this does. Denmark can replace their vassal with towns. There are no vassals because they're a bot. And must remove their vassal, if any. And if anything, basically Denmark doesn't get anything from it. I guess that's the one good thing. And then it says you gain 1, but the U in this case is Denmark. So, well, hold on. Number 4, this is Denmark. Hold on. Number 4 is selecting somebody else's. I'm so sorry. I'm getting tired. Yeah, so is the opponent event revealed? No. Okay, is your own event revealed? Yes. They're going to pick their own event and then gain the 1. And then they're going to resolve option A this time. And okay, let's keep going. Let's keep going. So Denmark is doing. They still get the 1 cube because it had money on it. But now, instead of this down here, they still get 1 cube from this. They could pay 5 ducats to replace this with that. Actually, none of this happens because there's no vassals. So they're just going to gain a cube. They technically gain 2 cubes. So, alright, they're done. Austria, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Austria is passing. And they gain 2 cubes for being the first to pass. Poland is finally going to do a card, and it's going to be the convert. So this is going to cost them 2. That comes out. And then, yeah. They finally get the Catholic and get to plop it down there. And that scores them the 2 points we were talking about earlier. Us, we're running out of turns. They're going to basically prevent us from being able to take more turns. I'm going to declare war. Oh no, I'm going to recruit. I have to. Otherwise, I'm not even going to win my war. And that's going to cost me 2 ducats. That's my whole turn. Yeah, this is going to hurt me. Because now Denmark is going to pass. So they get a cube for doing that. And we now only get one more turn each. So Poland is going to grab their event. So they're going to come over here and roll a die. They rolled a 4, so that means they're going to get an opponent's event, which is this one. And then this is going to come out here. And I don't technically need to do this, but that should be there, like so. The plague is interesting because you could destroy other people's cities with it, but you have to also hurt yourself. So I don't want to do that. I have Berlin. So I'm going to go with this one, of course, because that's just going to give me 6 ducats. So they're going to choose this one. They're going to force the Austria to go with B. So Austria's going to lose 2. And they gain 2 cubes in any Hungarian area. And then they're going to get 2 cubes. Poland is. So 1, 2. 1, 2. And, oh yeah, that's actually active. This doesn't happen. They would have lost 3 points if they would have done A. But they lose 2. Now it's our turn, and this is our last official action we get to do. So if I declare war, I am not going to get to siege anything. So that's my dilemma. So I'm going to have to spend 1 diplomatic cube and forge an alliance, which for the 1 cube I get to do a 2, because it's half a target's tax income. So if there's a city, 2 small cities, my 1 cube helps me with 2 small cities. It requires 2 cubes. So I'm going to get another alliance going here, but this time it's going to be with Stettin, because they're 2 cities strong. I can't do this one. They're 3 cities strong. 1, 2, 3. Half of that is 1.5. Oh, do I get to round up or down? Let's go check the rulebook. Because maybe I can get Saxony to join me for just 1 cube. I think there's a spot elsewhere in the rulebook, and this is where it drives me nuts. Is it says half your target's income, but max 3. I think there's another spot in the rulebook where it says round up. And let's just see if I can find the keywords round up. When having numbers, always round up unless told otherwise. There it is. So 1.5 rounded up is 2. So I can't do that. So this is all I can do is ally with these because I have 2 cubes. And that gets me towards my goal of having a marriage and an alliance with another realm. I would have liked to get Saxony, but for the 1 cube I had, that was all I could do. I could have also tried to do a trade action. Not the worst thing in the world, but I'd rather do something that is guaranteed to help me. And I understand I got all these military cubes, and in fact, it's almost too many. But we are going to get to do something positive with this, because I'm going to get even more cubes next round. And once we go to war, it's going to be like, man, I have these so many of them. It's like candy. And with the 2 allies, we can call them to war, and I'll be able to recruit them. And so I'll have a pretty sizable army, and I can maybe go in and take this whole area. And that will finally get, because if you think about it, 1, 2, 3, 4, let's say I put 5 more towns out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Look at my income. That becomes 7 instead of 2. And my manpower becomes 4 instead of 1. And then obviously you get to add this on top of it. But you see what I mean? Like just taking that 1 more province is key to getting me there. And so by having those 2 alliances, I can cash those in if I want, and have them help me. Now maybe I shouldn't, because since I have so many cubes, I don't need to be cube efficient. And because remember, when you cash in on an alliance, you have to take cubes away. So send a call to alliance. I have to discard 2 cubes from the areas of the NPR ally I wish to call. So I'm going to lose cubes from them. And maybe I need to save that for if the big guys declare war on me. I need all the army I can get against them. So it's a tricky call. This is just like the video game. Brandenberg is 50-50 on whether or not you're going to survive. Okay, unfortunately that was my last turn. I guess I could have put this out too. I didn't even think about that. That was my last turn. And now I am forced to pick one of these, and I'm going to pick this one, which gives me 6 ducats, and that's huge for me. And we're going to do border friction, which says I can press a claim, gain a cube, a military cube, like I need more. I can place a claim in any area adjacent to my realm and lose a total of 3 cubes from that area or areas adjacent. That's the tricky part. Or I can lose 2 victory points, gain a diplomatic cube, and place 2 cubes in an area adjacent to my realm. I hate to say this, but I already have the claim where I want it. So if I put a claim somewhere else, I'm going to lose cubes that I'm working hard to get out there. So I'm actually going to lose 2 victory points. So this goes to 0 and then -1. So I'm at -1, so you put one of these tokens on to show that I'm at negative. That's horrible, by the way. But it lets me gain a cube, but this one is diplomatic, which, as you can tell, I need way more than military. And place 2 cubes in an area adjacent to my realm. So that's very valuable, because that's like... Whoops, I need more cubes. So, for example, getting a 3rd cube there is powerful. And then maybe a 3rd cube here, because that's also HRE. I would put it here, but these guys are going to be gone. And it had to be adjacent to my realm. I don't want to put it here because I'm going to war there. So we just get 3 cubes here, 3 cubes here. The electors, which is here, 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 right? And here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then this is the 5th elector here. These 5 electors are where I need to have more cubes in Austria to be able to take the emperor spot. I would have loved to put the cubes here, but I think I had to go adjacent, right? Yeah. So my realm isn't big enough for me to do that. So I got the 3 cubes here that I need. I don't necessarily need 3 cubes there. You know what? I'm going to move a 4th cube here, just for good measure. Okay. That event was worth it for me. The triangles get sick. I do have a triangle. Jerk. That's a big one. That's a +3. I don't want to lose him. And ships die, but none of the ships are going to die. So the text event doesn't happen, but this does. Alright, so a cardinal dies, and since it's not a player's turn, it's going to be the rightmost cardinal. So Denmark loses their cardinal, and all of these shift down. And then pirates go on a board. And this is interesting because I don't even know if Lubeck is the only one that has a sea-based trade. So they're the only ones getting pirates. So neener neener, Mr. Lubeck, or Denmark here. And we'll put it here. So now they're going to make less money from that trade. Okay, and then the pluses get sick. And I don't have any pluses, so I got lucky there. Alright, so that brings the end to another... So they're up to 9 cards now. I was just getting ready to say, where's the 10th one? But that's because we took the 10th one. So those are done. And for the next round, these move over. I don't know what's going on there. Like, where are they disappearing? I don't know why they're being... I know there's some setting. Fine, I'll leave it here. So if I were to draw, that works. Huh. I don't know what's going on there. And then that one's disappearing now. What the heck? I know that this is some kind of feature where they get to hide like this, but it's some issue with the way the card is set up. Alright, I guess we don't technically need this. We'll move it down here. 1, 2, 3. There. And this guy will go down here like this. Alright, these are the events for the next round. We are in the second half of the first stage now. So that means one of these is going to be, well, here it is. This is the one for us. So we can claim Pomerania by force. Brandenberg gains a claim in Pomerania. And if Pomerania is an NPR, we must declare war on Pomerania or lose 3 victory points. Now, Pomerania is, I think, who we just formed an alliance with. Like, which one of those is Pomerania? I'm going to assume it's the one I just formed an alliance with. Dang it. I should have known better. Now, you might want to say, like, how did you know that? Well, you could come here. The HRE, and somewhere in here is going to be Pomerania, and there's their flag. And sure enough, that is exactly who I just allied with. So what's the other option, then, if I don't do that? If Stettin is owned by an NPR that is at peace, Brandenburg may place a vassal with unrest on it and gain 1. Okay, that's just as good. I don't mind having a vassal, especially since I had an ally on them. Okay, that's good. I'm okay with it. I mean, I wasted a cube getting an ally on them, but and then look at this. This guy is nowhere near as good as the one we have. But you got to take it when you can get it, because these are the ones that came out. Okay. Then we have a whole round of nonsense we got to go through. So we got to go through this. Nothing. There's no rebels on the board, so that doesn't happen. Peace resolution does happen. So 1, 2, 3 come off. Austria is going to score 3 points. Actually, no. They're going to score 5 points. Because that was the tax value of these guys. Alright, they are going to remove the claim in this case, because they do control the whole area. And that is going to remove, or they're going to flip the unrest on the biggest city first. And then in alphabetical order, the B. So they do get 2 of them back. That was the only war going on. Prestige penalties, no. Religious dissent, yes. This is now Catholic, but this is still Orthodox. So is that. So that one flips. Everybody else is okay. Nothing happens here. Roll rebel dice. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Rebellion, and then 2 come up and then lose a cube. Alright, so doing it correctly this time, rebellion means actual troops arrive. Ay, ay, ay. So actual troops. Now, the problem is they roll all of them at once. Then it's like, okay, well, where do these rebellions happen? It's always the lowest tax area, so it's here and here. But they do get sieged. And the only good news for them is it's not, since these aren't core, these would have been liberated. Whereas here, they do have a chance to get them back. Because these were core. Okay, that's them. But then we go to Austria. And, oh, by the way, Austria does get to put a core out. So they do have a core on here, and that scores them 2 more points, as if they didn't need more. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Austria's going to roll their full 5. Oh, and Poland got to remove unrest as well. That was not a roll. That was me flipping. Okay, so Poland gets to remove one of these. Okay, coming back to here. Lose a cube and 1 rebellion. So, lose a cube. Where would the rebellion be? These are cores now, so even if this rebels, it's not going to be that big a deal. Lowest tax is here. So the rebellion's going to be there. Alright, that'll keep Austria busy for a bit. Then we're going to do our income. Then score some points for them. Austria dropped a level. So they're down to 2. So that means one of their influence cubes comes off. They have one here, here, and here. They choose the one that's alphabetical order, so it would be R. So they lose Rhineland. The Papal controller is still Denmark, so they still score 1, 2, 3. Or no, it's now Denmark. And then Austria scores 1. They are running away with the game as I'm sitting here with minus 1 point. Yes, we're going to do our income and then we'll do cleanup. So income for us is a little better. 2, 4. We now make $6, and it's still 4, 5, 6, 7, and now the upkeep is 9, so we lost 3. We still are in the positive, folks. We're still positive. And then here, I'm going to gain 2 cubes. And then 3 plus 3 is 6 cubes. And then this is where it gets funky. 2 plus 3, I'm going to get 5 more cubes here. Up. 2, 3, 4. We are ready for war. There's no doubt. And I probably took too long to do this. But it just, there's only so many actions. And if I was able to keep going until I was ready to pass, we would have taken that whole area last round. So that's just how the cookie crumbles. We got a lot of 6 people. We're going to be losing some. I'm trying to hold on to some stuff here to replace them. Like this is a nice +2. That's a nice +2. You know, I can slide these in. I need a military one. Or maybe I don't. I mean, who knows? But that's been my game plan. I love the exceptional year. That actually is a reason why we're in the positive. However, that +2 I'll be more than happy to use. Not as good as the +3 that's out there. We have the events. Like I said, triangle is dying here. So who are we losing with the triangle? We are losing that guy. Dang it. Well, I'm really pleased that we were able to get one more set of cubes out of him before that happened. And yes, that +2 made the difference. I mean, we only lost $3 instead of 5. And yeah, once I get, out to here, and that jumps up, that's going to be 5 more income. I'm actually going to make a +2. Now, granted, I'm not going to have this won't be as expensive either, but still, the point is I'm actually going to be in the positive, even if I have some really nice leaders in my employment. Okay, so I have to update manpower. Merchants aren't a thing. Remove alliances. And that one I already took care of. Okay, so before I forget, he gets one more cube. I'm just going to steal it from here. He gets one more cube because he's still at level 2 Emperor, and the level 2 Emperor gets an extra cube. Let's do ours first. Our manpower has not changed, so we're good. We're going to go take care of Poland here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And one more for 7. Alright, and then here, this was the only action, so it goes in, gets shuffled. Their manpower is 8. And their income is 15. So any alliances they have would be lost. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Those all go back. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. These disappear. I'm just going to put them over here. And shuffle. Their income, because they Rumpelstomped, is now 14. So they lose their alliance. Their income is now 16. They would have lost their alliance, but those jerks aren't going to. Alright. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Now, in the Grand Campaign, the bots do tend to get easy. And there is this concept here where they gain 9 cubes instead of 7. And then they only need 2 to focus. The minimum cubes necessary to declare war on bot becomes 7. I don't even know what that means. And then this one, when they do their recruit action, they're going to recruit 11. This part I don't fully understand because we're not paying power cubes to declare war on a bot. So I'd have to look up what that means. But yeah, we could try very hard sometime. I'm only sitting at -1 point, so maybe we shouldn't. But but I'm not losing. I'm not stressed out yet. I still think I have plenty of chance to get back into the groove. This game has a snowball effect where once that snowball starts rolling down the hill, you get more and more powerful. And in the games that I did play with my other human friends, we got bored with it. Like, we got to a point where our countries were just getting so powerful that nothing was stopping us. There was just nothing in our way. We could do whatever we wanted. And yeah, the only thing left was to attack each other, which of course we made a pact that we wouldn't do because this game takes so ridiculously long to play that we didn't want to ruin anybody's day. Um, the thing I like about starting as like a Brandenberg is I'm struggling, and that makes it good. The snowball's still there. It's just that it's a lot slower start, and so that lets the AI, you know, have time to get a head start. So that way, when your snowball catches up to them, hopefully that's nearing the end of the game. All right. I got everybody. Oh, not this one. Shuffle. One goes here, and one is gone. All right. I think that sets it up. We're going to get to draw 3 cards, which that is technically the next round. So I'm going to end the video here. It is really late at night. I need to stop. Thanks for watching. As always, stay awesome. Feel free to give me feedback if you like this more than the Grand Campaign playthrough, or maybe you like both. I don't know. I know I still got to get Frosthaven going. This game is definitely my interest right now. I actually personally enjoy this a little bit more than the Grand Campaign, but I think for all the reasons that you guys were probably going to suggest in the first place, that it's not as crazy or bloated. You know, I was able in one video. We're already on the 3rd round of Age 1, whereas I think it took us 5, 6 videos to get that far in the Grand Campaign. I'm only controlling 3 bots, whereas there I'm controlling 5 bots, and I don't know. I mean, there's just a lot more to manage. So it is quicker. There's no doubt that playing a solo here against 3 bots is quicker than a solo versus 5. Anyways, thanks for watching. Stay awesome.